What's going on, guys? John Santos, and today we made it into LA to meet with the guys, the owners and the founders of indiesource. Indiesource is a full garment production from your idea to a finished product. They take it and they take you step by step in order to create that garment. Today we're meeting with the founders, which is Zach and Jesse. We're actually gonna go inside and have them give us the tour and then explain the steps that are required in order to create a cut and sew product. So whether you have an idea for a brand or perhaps you're interested in maybe taking it on in the near future, this is gonna be a resource that you could turn to. So let's get it. Zach, what's up, man?
What's up, Jonathan? Good to
Appreciate
see
you for
man.
having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Dude, this is an amazing thing. We, a few months ago we met at Magic, and we were talking about, how can we help entrepreneurs learn more about the cut and sew process while also giving them a resource.
Yeah.
So thank you for having us here today. Kind of show us around what are we going to get into? Like when somebody brings a product, so like they have an idea, right? What is the process you guys take them through in order to create that finished product?
Cool. So step one is planning. We got to plan out your collection and figure out what you're making.
Cool.
So right here, usually there'll be reference samples that people will send in. This is Leni, one of our project managers, and she's getting information from one of our clients about what they want to do, right?
Okay.
Everything from price points, lead times, the kind of fabrics they want, the fit. I mean, remember, this is all custom. So It's not blanks. This is anything. Underwear, swimwear, dresses, everything.
Blouses,
everything you can think of. So it starts from a planning process so that she knows exactly what to source. And we'll talk about the role of the project manager later on.
Right. This is more the kickoff meeting,
This
right?
is
So
that
you guys
kickoff
are
meeting.
able to...
So from there, what we do is then we start to source the fabrics that you actually want us to find.
Cool.
Right? So we source the fabric. So let me take you over and I can show you some of the different fabrics, examples that we work with.
Right, let's do it.
Cool.
So you guys got the two places. You got this office and that office back there,
Yep.
right? So you guys are able to coordinate everything on this with the smaller
Yeah, there are
team,
different
but still
areas. There's
productive.
different areas for different things. So we have production, and we have our product development over here too. And some of it's just administrative, and some of it's the actual making of things. So come through here, and I'll show you some of the different fabrics that we work with. There's a wide variety of fabrics. Some are imported, some are milled here in Los Angeles, and so it just depends on what you're looking for. So here you got some different woven florals. We have jersey, athletic wear. This is a fraction of what's really out there, but it gives you kind of an example of how much you can choose from, right? Because we're not just talking about 100% cotton or polyester. We're talking about thousands of different kinds of fabrics. LA is really cool because there's millions of yards sitting available, just ready to go. So if you're trying to do something quick, then you can do it here, and we can just pull that fabric from those vendors.
That's awesome.
So that's the next step. Once we're done with that, I'm gonna take you over here to our pattern making station. So the pattern making is the actual engineering or the fit of the garment. That's where we kind of build the blueprint to your garment. This is a digitizer, okay? And so this is how we take the measurement from the garment, we put them on this table, and we use a cursor and actually take the points. That then sends it into this system over here, which we use a Gerber software, not manual pattern making. She builds the fit. This gets printed out right here on this little plotter, and this is what you get, okay? So you have your pattern card, which is the directions, and all of the things that the cutter and the sample maker need to build the garment for the first time. Remember, this doesn't exist. There's no instructions. And this is the actual pattern with the different pieces that are first cut out and then sewn, and we'll show you across the hall how we do that.
Yeah, and we were discussing this during our sit-down time, but it's very important that you start with the best pattern in order for the production to go smoothly, because you can have a lot of different weird things that happen if you start off with a crappy pattern.
One small thing is wrong, and you go into production, it's all wrong.
Exactly. So this is going to be key to begin with. Make sure that you guys start with a good pattern, because this is going to be essentially be the foundation to the success of that garment in that line. So you don't want to skimp out or cut corners on anything, right?
No, otherwise the whole thing will collapse. You have to spend the time. And the thing is, all patterns are not created equal, right? We're the Mercedes of patterns over here, so you got to be clear about what you're looking for. And this pattern card is an example of something that is of the quality you need to be able to move into the sample process. Also has limited mistakes, so you do less rounds of development. Right.
Saves you time.
So let's go across the hall.
There's a lot of different products going on here, and they're able to. Obviously, they're not. Like, this is different entrepreneurs and different brands that they're working with, so every customer has a very specific need and a specific function. So it's really cool how you guys are able to manage all this different stuff all under one roof in terms of everything you guys are doing here. So
yeah, exactly. So it's lunchtime. Our cutter is at lunch, but she laid these out. So now we saw those patterns,
Yeah.
right? So now those patterns are laid out right here on top of the fabric that you choose.
Right.
So you have the fabric you choose and you have the cut pieces. She's gonna cut out the shapes, right? Now we have the cut pieces, right? So from there, she's gonna bundle them up and bring them into the sample sewing room. All right, now this is the sewing room. So from here, this is where we take those cut pieces and sample makers will build the garment. And the way that they do that is by using that pattern card.
Right.
They look at the pattern card, they read the directions, they see the pieces, and they have to figure out how to put the thing together. A common question that I get is, how come samples are more expensive than production, right? Well, the reason is because you're just making one, right? You're not making tons and just you have like a whole line of people that are just doing one part of the shirt, right? You have one person doing all parts of the shirt. And that's very important. You don't want to have 10 people doing it. You have to put it together. So it's like the first iteration. It takes more time.
Yep.
It takes hours to put together this thing, not like 3 seconds.
Yep.
And then from there, they're using, based off of the pattern card, the different machines that it requires.
Make it happen.
So some garments require certain machines, and some require others. And so based off of that, we use different machines. What are you working on?
Ironing the pockets.
Ironing the pockets.
Yes.
Okay, he's ironing pockets. He's gonna take these and he's gonna sew them onto the garment.
That's cool. That's
Right,
awesome.
so all these different things. Again, the cool part is that we only hired cross-trained sample makers. So sample makers that can do lots of different things, and they've done it for decades. These
Yep.
guys.
Yep. They're able to see the pattern card and actually put it together the first time. And as long as the information is right, they're able to get it done.
And here's the cool part: is if they're confused, they walk across the hall,
And then
talk to the pattern maker, right? So it's all
all
good,
in one group,
and
yeah.
and that's okay. We want them to talk because that is another thing that eliminates more confusion. Is just asking questions.
Yeah.
Hey, what did you mean when you said this? Like what? Right?
Yep. And then that also helps in the development of the production. So once you guys square away the clear instructions, you guys can communicate that to your factories, which saves time and money. And that's important.
So when you're done with the samples, you might have a wash process or maybe a dye or a printing process, and we'll handle that too. When we're finished with that, that comes back here. Now, let's say it goes to the dye house. It comes back from the dye house, and then we do a fitting. Let me show you a fitting. So here we're actually in the process, in the middle of a fitting for a really cool streetwear line called Mest. And these kids that just are building something from scratch. I think they're on their second fitting right now. So we can take a peek of what they're working on. So inside, Lana, our pattern maker, is communicating with Janine, our project manager, what notes to take, what things to change about the garment based off of the feedback from our fashion entrepreneurs, from the designers, right? So they put it on, they feel it on their body, and then they decide what they want to change. And then we'll give our feedback to them, and together we come up with the changes we want to make so we can finalize the garment and put it into production.
It's nice. They're doing a great job in there. These guys are really creating their idea from the scratch, and as you guys are seeing, they have multiple styles. So it's indiesource's job to actually get it all to work and function for a production process. So what is the team comprised of here in the company?
Yeah, for each brand, you have basically a project manager, pattern maker, cutter, and sample maker that are working on it. Now we have multiple project managers working on all different projects because we don't want them to get too overwhelmed with each thing. Like we can't just have one. So at any given time, we'll be working on maybe 30 different brands, and they have lots of different styles. So yeah, that's kind of like what the core development team looks like. And then when you move into production, one of the other things is that we hear that there's a lot of issues with communication for manufacturers. So we have David, who's actually sitting right here. He's our account manager, and he makes sure that all of the clients get updated. So he'll communicate with you to say, hey, this is what's going on.
That's cool.
Right? And that's something that was lacking in the industry, and so we wanted to solve that problem. And David helps us do that.
That's awesome.
He works with Judy, who's production director and is a technical expert, right? Really understands, manages the quality control of the garments. And so everybody has a different role at different stages of the process, and that allows us to, work as a team.
Once the development of your product is completed and you are happy with the fit and function of your garment, it then goes to production. During the production process, your designs are mass produced to meet the demand of your brand.
All right, cool. So then the last thing, when we're done on production, we're finishing up with some trimming, final QC, and making sure that everything's good before the garment goes out.
Awesome, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and you were able to better understand the whole entire cut and sew process. As you can see, there's a lot of steps involved with bringing your idea to life, and I hope we made it a little bit more clearer and better understanding. Zach, thank you.
Thanks for coming, man.
I appreciate you guys for having us here, man, and like showing everybody out on YouTube. You know, one of the things that we mentioned is the industry a lot of the times doesn't like to share what actually goes on behind the scenes, let alone give people their patterns and a blueprint to start their brand.
Exactly.
So that is the reason that when I spoke to them about how they do business, it vibed with the vision and the mission that I have for the channel. So I'm happy that you guys are on board and you're able to provide those resources to those entrepreneurs. If you guys are interested in getting your own cut and sew garment started, we're going to be linking a special page right down below where you guys can learn more, and they'll be able to outreach you and see which stage in the production or perhaps in the process you are. And when you guys are ready to get started, they're going to be a great resource for you guys to turn to. So once again, I appreciate everything here. If you guys have any questions about this video, comment right down below. We'll answer them in this video or in a future video. And more importantly, any of the resources that we mentioned or the links that we are going to provide are going to be available right up on this left card. It'll pop up right over here. And if you guys have any further questions or want to review any of the information, it'll be also in the description down below. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.